the 1970s, feminists became an influential force in sociology. This was responsible for increasing the opportunities for women in social life. There was a backlash against the feminists from those who believed that feminist movement had gone too far, or that it already had achieved their perspective or purpose in fighting for the woman's right. Within the feminists, there was an issue with the different groups of feminists, such as the black woman and the lesbian, etc. This reflects a post-feminist views it would be possible to hold and embrace the feminist project in society. Susan Faludi argues that woman liberation had run in an opposite side, that side not only would benefit them, but also be affecting them as well. Women were told by politicians and business leaders that women won the rights, or war as they call it, and that they can now enjoy the same rights as men. But the rights will have a cost to women. Susan Faludi said that women have not obtained equality, that women have only gained a 64% salary of men full-time working wage. She also claims that single women and women with careers tend to have a better and healthier life than a married woman, because married women are more depressed than single women. They tend to suffer more illness and well numerous of illness and even they tend to get sick more often because of this same illness. Susan also stated that the cause of this illness or this sickness, as they said, was because of too much oppression by the men. Well, basically what Faludi was trying to say was that the feminists were fighting for the rights, for the same rights as men, but in the process of doing so, they only conscious or the minds were only on gaining the same rights, the rights of to study, the rights to an education, the right to be out. Somebody thought that the feminists would be a great thing for the females to fight for their rights, to fight for the rights to have an education, to fight for the rights to have a career, and not only be at home, tending to the house, doing the house chores, tending to their husband, and raising their kids, but also having an educational career. And not only that, but also she stated that the feminists also have the issue of different kinds of groups of females, like the black females and the lesbians would say, that will be an issue to the feminists because it's a different group that is being fight like that. Like the lesbians would be two female in a household, so this would not be categorized the same as the feminists, but fighting for the rights, different rights of men, because both females will be in a home and both will have the same rights, and they will attribute or they will help each other in the household other than the female and male in a household. She also stated that the taken care of. But also, she said that the single female, tend to have like, if they decide to have a partner, or even just have like a common law, we would call it, they will only be at their home, not having the necessity to get married as it was in the days before, that in order to be with a man, you needed to be married. And you needed to be like summatized to that man, to obey him in everything that he said. But somebody was fighting against that. And she would say that men to stop oppressing women to their own benefit, more likely. Because women back in the days, the women have any voice to be a voice of opinion or any decision in their homes. Because the male will take the whole thing in a house. They will make decisions. They will be the only provider. They're like, if a woman will go out to be working and provide for the family, that will not seem as wrong. For the fact that males will be seen as like soft person and not being capable of raising or providing for his family. And so that will bring them like females are only allowed to be at home. The only purpose of female will be staying at home and cooking, washing, and helping the kids from schoolwork, taking care of the kids, and all of those things. Those are the females' only things to do, according to them. But somebody was fighting against her. She would say, this is enough. Woman oppression is done. We need to stand up and fight for our rights. Having the same rights as men, having the same pay scale as men. We can do the same work as them. Why not being recognized, and why not having the same space scale or having the same rights or being seen the same as men? Why not? Because women will be seen in a workforce. Like if women would tend to go and apply for a job, they would be seen like, you don't belong here. Your place is being at home, tending to your kids, cooking, and not here. This is a post for men. In case of a high post or a higher, like a manager post, would tend to be, they will tend to look at men more, or even though female would have the capabilities of fitting the position, they will take a male rather than a female, because they would see females as weak or not capable of doing those kinds of jobs. Paul Moody stated that we as females can do that and even much more. Even if a female tends to get married with a man, she can have the option or decision of having or not having kids at all. And this, in today's, back in the days, would be seen as something irrational. In other words, like that woman that does not have a kid would seen as like they're not bored, or those are not females, because females tend to have kids. And another thing was that when getting married to a man, the backlash, the effects of being fighting for this feminist perspective was that the females, after getting married, they would make the decision I said before of not having kids. They would make the decision But when they make the decision, having the decision to have kids, they will not be able to do so. One of the factors would have been that their age would not be the same as an accurate date to have it, of having kids, or they would not be able to have kids due to stress from work and having to do the housework as well, because even though females have the right now to have a career, to study and to have a job, a well-stable job, they still have to do the housework that they used to do before. So it would be much a stress, a bigger stress that this the factor that factor would bring up to having and having issues or complications on getting pregnant. This would be the side effects of being fighting for the female feminist. This phenomenon, the feminists, men will see it as an aggression to them, in other words, because they will think that the feminist group are putting women against men, in the fact that women will not listen or be obedient to whatever their husband would say, or they would say that the female, this feminist group are putting, like, they would say that this feminist group is just a group to put them against their husband. This, they would say it like an aggression to them, and they would say that, like I said earlier, this would only be an achievement to women. Like the businessmen and politicians would say, this is not an achievement to women, but rather more like an oppression to them. Because the women used to think that this will be the liberation, they will have freedom, but instead they would finish more with more burden to them. This feminist group would fight for the right for the woman to be seen in society more or less. Know that woman, know that we see woman can be a president, woman can be involved in politics, woman can be a manager, woman can be a CEO, or any other type of job that back in the days were seen as only fitted for men. This was one of the things that helped me fight for. Like the postmodernist, post-feminists of this sort rejects the idea of a single meta-narrative or big story which claims to offer the single sign for improving the world. This change has entailed a focus on the difference between women rather than on the inequalities between men and women. The post-feminists, as understood from the feminist debates around inequalities, to a focus on debates around differences. It is fundamentally about.
As I will be showing a video of feminism and the future, a continuation.
Brave world. This is a letter from your future. This is a world made equal. A generation challenged and changed and redeemed. A world you believed in. A world that you built. A world you're creating but cannot yet see. This is a letter from the women you've set free. Dear feminists, as you stand your ground side by side amidst the noise, as you hear the chorus of the movement and decide to lift your voice, as you fight together for the future, the right to peace and power and choice, governments will match your momentum. Policies will partner with your perspective. Communities will build upon your bravery. You are shattering the glass ceiling, feminists, and we know the shards stick and sting upon your knuckles, and the scars haven't faded, and the fire still feels hot. But you have revealed the endless sky to the generation who will finally touch it. These women have no limits now. The future is feminist, and so it is fluid and inclusive, where all expressions of gender are protected and respected, where the feminine and masculine are esteemed as equal qualities of leadership. The future is feminist, and so are its policymakers, where women in all their diversities are elevated and elected as leaders and advocates, combining their power to effect global change. The future is feminist, and so its governments are accountable to women, where they have recognized authority over their own bodies, access to safety and security, where their choices are upheld by their human rights. The future is feminist, and so it has reached inclusive peace, where the most vulnerable are not just granted refuge, but amplified power. A heard voice within every political negotiation, government resources for community elevation, funding and support to set free the next generation, where one woman's healing can heal the whole world. In this future, the war against women is finally over, and it benefits everyone. Feminists of every gender, this is the movement you are building together. As you demonstrate, as you motivate, as you organize and influence and advocate, this is the world you can collectively create. This is a letter from your future, from the women who are standing upon your shoulders, climbing beyond restriction into a true equality, taking hold of a world you cannot yet see. Brave feminists. This is a letter from the women now set free.